Released on June 10th, 1994, Wizards of the Coast showcased its 7th set in the Magic the Gathering franchise. Dubbed Legends, it is the 3rd expansion set following the core set revised edition. This set would primarily focus on multicolored cards and the legendary creatures itself. The Legend set was designed by Wizards of the Coast co-founder Steve Conrad and designer Robin Herbert. One of the ideas behind the set was to create a heroic-style creature with a sense of depth and strength. This led to the genesis of the legendary creatures, along with other mythological creatures as well. The Legend set was also heavily influenced by the game Dungeons & Dragons. The expansion symbol of this set was the capital of a Doric column. Legends had none of the errors that were common in previous Magic the Gathering sets. The poor collation as seen in Antiquities, however, still existed. This means that each booster box only had half of the uncommon cards in this set, and completing the Legend set was extremely difficult. There were new mechanics introduced in Legends. The first one was Poisonous, which is damage done by a creature that is cumulative and non-reversible. This also introduced poison counters, and when a player accumulates 10 poison counters, that player loses the game. Multicolor were cards that needed more than one color to play. These cards had a gold background and would start to become more common in later sets. Rampage was an ability that took effect whenever said creature became blocked by more than one creature. Creatures with Rampage would get a power and toughness bonus for each creature blocking it beyond the first. Enchant World were enchantments that affected the entire world. The effects of these enchantments affected all players at the same time and were limited to only one in play at a time. The last mechanic was Legendary. Known also as the Legends rule, cards from this set were only allowed to have one copy of a particular legendary card, but that restriction would be dropped in later sets. As another restriction, only one copy of a legend can be in play at a time. The Legend set had both legendary creatures and legendary land, but legendary artifacts and legendary enchantments would not be seen until Odyssey and Champions of Kamigawa set. The storyline for Legends was not formulated until 2001 and 2002. Author Clayton Emery published 3 novels for the Legends cycle. The book cycle follows the adventures of Hazazon Tamar, who joins up with other legends from the set, such as Jedit Ojanit. The story takes place after the events of Ice Age and before the plot of Weatherlight, as the prototype airships are built by Johan, who try to conquer the entire continent. Many other legends from the set fight against Johan's army in the event that will be forever known as the Battle of Efrava. All of the 55 legendary creatures from the Legend set are arranged in a complex system of family trees, with one Elder Dragon at the top, 3 legends that share each of the dragon's color, 2 sets of 3 rare legends for the 2 allied color pairs in the dragon's cost, and 2 sets of 4 uncommon legends for the same allied pair. In many cases, some of the rare and uncommon legends were in more than one branch of the legendary tree based on their colors. The first Elder Dragon was the Bant-colored Arcata Sabbath, along with the Bant legends Rubinia Soulsinger, Ragnar, and Angus Mackenzie. The second Elder Dragon was the Esper-colored Chromium, along with the other Esper legends Daikon Blackblade, Halfdane, and Lady Evangela. The third Elder Dragon was the Jund-color Vivictus Asmati, which also included the other Jund-color legends such as Aiden Oakenshield, Bartel Runax, and Zira Aaron. The fourth Elder Dragon was the Naya-colored Palladia Moors, which also included the other Naya legends incorporating Hazazon Tamar, Jacques Lever, and Johan. The last Elder Dragon was the Grixis-colored Nicol-Bolas, which also included the other Grixis legends such as Gwendolyn de Courcy, Solkanar the Swamp King, and Tetsuo Umezawa. The print run of this set was placed at 35 million cards. The Legend set would be the first expansion set to be sold in booster packs of 15 cards. Expansion sets before this were sold in packs of 8. Cards from this set were available from mid-June 1994 through late June of the same year. Legends also did not contain any basic lands and was not seen as a standalone expansion. Therefore, there were no Legends starter decks. As previously mentioned, card collectability was an issue for this set. Booster boxes only contained one portion of the possible uncommons, while another contained different portions of the uncommons. These so-called A and B boxes elicited numerous complaints from collectors and players, so Wizards of the Coast responded with the Legends Exchange program, which allowed consumers to trade in up to 100 cards from one group of uncommons for an equal number of uncommons from the other group. The breakdown of the set had a total number of 310 cards, which included 75 common cards including Darkness and Forespike, 114 uncommon cards including Stormseeker and Fallen Angel, and 121 rares, which included cards such as Telekinesis and Mana Matrix. The first of our notable cards was Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning deals 3 damage to target creature or player. Then that player or that creature's controller may pay 2 red mana. If the player does, he or she may copy this spell and may choose a new target for that copy. Next was the black enchantment Chains of Mephistopheles. Every time a player draws a card, that player must first discard a card from his or her hand. If there are no cards in player's hand, take the top card from the library and place it in the graveyard instead of drawing. This enchantment does not apply to the first card drawn by a player during the draw phase. Eureka was a green sorcery card that read, starting with you, each player may put a permanent card from his or her hand onto the battlefield. Repeat this process until no one puts a card onto the battlefield. Land Tax was a white enchantment that read, at the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for up to 3 basic lands, reveal them, then put them into your hand. If you do, shuffle your library. Mana Drain was a blue instant card that read, counter target spell. At the beginning of your next main phase, add X to your mana pool, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Mirror Universe was an artifact that read, tap. Sacrifice Mirror Universe during your upkeep, and trade your number of life points with your opponent. For example, if you had 2 life points and your opponent had 10, you would now have 10 life points and your opponent would have 2. Effects that prevent or redirect damage may not be used to counter this change of life. The card Moat was a white enchantment that said non-flying creatures cannot attack. Nether Void was a black enchant world card that read all spells cast are countered unless their casters pay an additional 3 colorless mana. Reset was a blue card that read all your lands untap. Reset can only be played on an opponent's turn after his or her upkeep phase. The Abyss was a black enchant world card that stated all players bury 1 target non-artifact creature under their control if they have any during their upkeep. Underworld Dreams was a black enchantment that read, whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to him or her. And finally, the last card on our list, the Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale. The Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale was a legendary land that read, all creatures now require an upkeep cost of 1 colorless mana, in addition to any other upkeep cost they may have. If the upkeep cost for a creature is not paid, the creature is destroyed. Here are some fun facts about the Legend set. Pit Scorpion was the first creature ever introduced that dealt poison, giving rise to the demand in poison counters. The Legend set won the Gamma Award for Best Game Accessory of the Year in 1994. Wood Elemental is considered to be the worst creature of all time by many players and one of the worst Magic cards ever printed. Untapped forests have to be sacrificed in order for Wood Elemental to have power and toughness. A sealed booster box of Legends is worth around $6,500. That is all I have today, everybody. If you like our Magic the Gathering card anthology series, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video on your social media pages. Please also visit us at www.facebook.com/cardbazaar361 and on Twitter at cardbazaarcc. If you missed our previous episode of a revised edition, please click on the link below in the video description. This is Coach, signing out. You guys have a wonderful day.